Well, it's no secret that South African schools have been a hotbed of bullying in recent months, or for years actually, but it's not only vulnerable pupils who've been victim to bullies. For some gay and lesbian teachers, the playground has become the scene of horrific abuse. From being called devil worshippers to being overlooked for promotions, these are just some of the claims by queer teachers. They shared their experiences at a recent LGBTQI workshop, and the event was hosted by the South African Democratic Teachers Union in Durban. And for more on this, we're joined by Nomarashiya Caluza, Sadtu's secretary in KwaZulu-Natal. Thank you so much for joining us. It's 2021, yet our queer community is still being forced to fight discrimination, especially in the schoolyard. What were some of the findings at Sadtu's workshop?
Thank you for having us. Indeed, we had the workshop and we're dealing with this unfortunate situation where our comrades, teachers, were sharing their own personal experiences with how they have been treated in their schools as well as in the communities where they are working. The situation is bad because as they shared the information, they were able to tell us that in some instances they've not been able to get promoted even when they qualified for those promotions. But the painful one is when they are sometimes attacked physically and then dealt with emotionally, which makes it difficult for them to be productive in the classroom. And we're saying as such, it cannot continue like this when we are the organization that believes that there cannot be any gender discrimination or discrimination of people because of their sexual orientation. You know, a few months ago, we even visited a school here in Durban, Centenary Secondary in Overport, where a teacher was chased away by a school principal simply because he came back wearing a skirt, and the principal was saying, "You are putting our school, or making our school a disgrace," chased him away to go back and change to wear trousers. And we are saying it cannot be. But the other issue is that we also have learners that are belonging to this community who continuously face discrimination, but unfortunately at the hands of their schoolmates, as well as some teachers who are also the perpetrators of discrimination. But as we're engaging with our teachers, we even gave them an opportunity to state their frustrations, how they have been treated all along in their schools, and they were able to tell us. They wrote their stories down and were able to go through those stories. A very painful session, but the workshop itself was empowering to many of them who felt strengthened, who felt capacitated to go back to their schools and be able to change the situation for better and make their schools and environments where everyone is welcomed and accepted as a human being and not be looked as a devil worshipper, as some of them were telling us.
Is the Education Department doing anything to support these teachers, and are there any protection measures in place for those who face such dreadful victimization?
You know, in the workshop, because this was not for the first time, we launched this workshop in 2019, and we're saying it's going to be an annual program, but last year we could not have it. So I'm trying to say, even in 2019, we invited the Department of Education, and this time around, we invited the South African Council of Educators so that they share with us their own way of dealing with these cases. The department will come and present that they are aware of these issues, but there's nothing that they tell us that they are doing. We believe as Sadtu that even the Department of Education in KZN has not made it its priority to protect and to deal with these issues as they come up. As for the South African Council of Educators says, the CEO, Ms. Ella, was able to say, indeed, there are cases of gender-based violence, but they have not been able, as says, to categorize these cases to say these are cases of discrimination because of sexual orientation. But the workshop itself empowered them, because we're even able to go through the legislation to say, if this happens, this is the recourse. And as the union SAT will be taking up these issues, not just campaigning, but making sure that in terms of the South African Constitution, these comrades are respected by the community and by the schools that they are working in.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for highlighting these heartbreaking stories for us. That's Nomarashiya Caluza, Sadtu Secretary in KwaZulu-Natal.
And